Morning guys, welcome to Allotment again. It's Sunday the 7th of March 2021. Hope everybody's staying safe, being practical and keeping themselves out of harm's way as usual. So I came up this morning, didn't come up too early, had a little bit of a lay-in this morning. My back was going mental yesterday and took a couple of tablets for the back, and the tablets actually drain me energy, so I get the benefit of them relieving the pain in my back, and I get a good night's sleep. However, the consequence is the following morning it drains me energy, saps me energy, because it keeps me relaxed. So basically I can't find any motivation. We've fed and watered the birds as normal, and it looks like every pair in this stock loft now have all got at least one egg, with the exception of the black hen that's paired to the white frill stencil cock, the toy stencil cock. And the reason for that is because she laid out a sink basically. She laid almost the second day that the nest box was opened, and the cock just wasn't having it. So we ended up having to throw those away last weekend, so there's a cycle to go through again now before she can lay again, which means she's going to be way behind all the rest of the birds in the shed. Now the only two I couldn't get a proper look at because I didn't go in the shed to disturb them yet, it's still a little bit early, is the Andalusian hen and black cock, toy frill stencil cock on the top, and the two barless. I couldn't even stand on my tiptoes. I couldn't see into the nest. There's quite a number of them got two eggs now, and good news, the satinet and blondinet cock have now got one egg. So she must have laid that either just this morning, early days, or late last night. So at least she's laid. And there's still only one egg under the other satinet that's paired to the white toy stencil Lebanon. I'm hoping she'll lay a second one today. The milky hen, the milkies are on 2, the Qualman and check hens on 2, box above those. I think the blacks are on 2. One of them is of course the black stroke toy stencil. The little ice bar hen has laid one, so they're split for barless. So she's laid the first one today. So I think there's an egg in every nest with the exception of the black hen and toy frill stencil cock that we threw the eggs away only last weekend. So it means it's going to throw them out of sync. I'd like to try and get all the youngsters off together, but if we can't, we can't. This does sometimes happen. I've got the kettle on, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee, but I haven't really got much motivation at all today. But what I might do is I've got some more garlic to plant. I might just go over and take the covers off those beds, plant some more garlic. I have another 3 or 4 cloves here. I might plant them in one of the beds outside. And depending how I feel, I might sow a few beetroot and some swede if I can find some swede seed, or turnips, whichever I've got. I might just sow a few of those as well. I really wanted to get the plastic on round those pallets, but I haven't got any energy to take them apart and lift them out and put the plastic down and then put them back myself. So I'm just going to have a bit of a pottery day today, guys. I'm going to have this cup of coffee and we'll show you what we get done, if anything. I'll see you later, guys. Right guys, we've taken the plastic off this bed and I'll show you what we've done with that in a minute. And we've basically planted these 4 cloves of garlic. Now they were grown in China, these, believe it or not. They're just supermarket ones, but we're going to give them a whirl in our climate and see how they do. They looked actually nice, but they were only relatively small, but we want to just see how they do. This bed is absolutely heaving with life, and the worms, as you can see, are starting to bring the cow manure straw up to the top. So basically what we've done here is we've planted 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 34, 36, 38. We've got about 40 up to where this fork is here. So we've got about 40 garlic in this bed here. And then what we use the rest of that bed for, we might put some beetroot in, or swede, whichever. Maybe just beetroots in clumps of 4 or something like that. or we might transplant some of those onions into there. However, I'm probably going to put me transplanted onions into this bed here and here. That one in particular, of course I'm probably going to have to put something over this as well. I'm not going to initially until they start to poke up, but we'll just see whether the birds start driving these out or not, guys. But there we go, another jobbed. Right guys, we've got the garlic planted, and what we're about to do now is start planting all of the strawberries that's been sitting in these pots for over a year now. And what you'll see I've done is I've just cut some membrane, pegged it in gently just to keep the worst of the weed at bay, and all we're doing is cutting across in the membrane, lifting out the compost, and I'm just putting it in there for now, which is going to be our carrot bed, and I'm just digging a hole out about the size of the pot, and then we're just sitting the strawberries straight in. So we'll crack on and we'll give you a look when we're finished, guys. And there we have it, guys. They're not perfectly straight, but they're in. There was 10 plants in total, and basically we fitted them in there nicely. They're a little bit close, but they should still spread out and give us hopefully a decent crop of strawberries this year. The membrane's just to hopefully keep back some of the weed. It can be lifted each year, give it a good topping up, and then put back down again. And basically, as I say, I just cut with the scissors in a cross direction, and then we scooped out about a plant pot's depth and then sank the strawberries in. That means we don't plant them at a lower level, because if you cover the crown, they basically die. So another little job, guys. Right guys, I'm in the small greenhouse now. I've just came over here to give the lemon tree and the orange tree a bit of a watering. They're just looking a little bit dull, so we'll give them a drop of water. And you can see the size these things have come on since we planted them. This is the orange, lemon and lime that we transplanted earlier in the year. But I really want you to see this. So these are the nectarines and peaches, and as you can see, these have just had a little drink as well. These are all starting to bud up now. These are all the trees that's going to go in that new polytunnel, guys. How beautiful is the blossom on these. Now a lot of people might say, oh, they need to be outside to get pollinated by bees, etc. The thing is, you can't put them outside because I can't always be here to get them back in again. The other thing is they're self-fertile, and if worst comes to worst, what I'll do is I'll come up with a little paintbrush, and when they're in full blossom I'll pollinate them myself by hand. But I just wanted you to have a little look at these, how beautiful they are. So these are the little dwarf nectarine and peach that I bought last year. And this is the first year with me, but they've wintered over quite nice, as you can see. And they're now springing back into life. Got some green foliage starting to show. And plenty of blossom on them, so with a bit of luck, we'll get some fruit off them this year. Perhaps. And I've just watered the grapevine as well. I think it's just starting to make a little bud on there now, so it is still alive, so all's good. Just wanted you to see those, guys. Really lovely. Right guys, just had a bit of a pottery day today. I really didn't have any energy. It's amazing I've got anything at all done, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought about just going down home on many occasions. There's our little prims coming along. We never did get these, they're still sat on the top of there, but somehow they're still thriving, guys. We will eventually get them potted on one day. So we've got the strawberries in the strawberry bed, got them all watered in now, and we've now got the plastic off all these beds, and for the time being you can see they're all nice and clean. I'm just a bit concerned that we might get some weed seed come up from the cow manure this year, but If we keep on top of it, we should be okay, guys. And the first crop will be the potatoes anyways, which will plenty of foliage, and we're hoping it's going to keep it at bay. So we've got all the plastic off the beds now, and you might think, well, that's a 10-second job, but it really wasn't. It was moving all the bricks and taking all the wood off, all the posts, moving all of those. Got this all done as well, guys. Our onion bed all sided back down again. We've got the plastic off that as well. Plastic off this bed here. We'll let the weather get at these beds now, guys. So what we done when we removed the plastic from here, as you know, if you've watched my videos from the start, that plastic was originally taken up off here. It had been down for about 5 years, which had done its job. Then we cut it up and we used it for these beds for winter to keep them covered until the growing season, which is more or less now. So I want some weather to get it there just to finish breaking down any compost, get a bit of frost at it now, just to finish it off. And sorry guys, I've just spotted a big slug. Wait till I go and get it. Right, that's got rid of that slug. I just seen a great big slug crawling down that edge there. It was huge. I don't know if you actually seen it on the camera or not, but we've got rid of it now and it's over there. Right, so like I said, we used that plastic, we covered it where we put it up the membrane down here for over 5 years. Then we built these beds last year. Then we've used them to cover and dress the beds over the winter period. Try and keep it at bay, stop weed seed getting in to start with. Things is looking nice and tidy in the garden now. I've still got all the bricks and planks of wood in between the beds to move. I've had enough though. I can't be bothered. I know it's only a little job, but we'll get to that. But what we've done with the plastic is we've put it straight back to work. And up this edge here, as you know, if you've seen the early videos, we had a lot of tough nettle that was coming up this side. I had to constantly keep cutting it back, keeping it at bay. In fact, you'll be able to see down here. All this is big, thick nettle stalks, guys, and this is all going to get mulched. This is going to get covered over as well with plastic or membrane or whatever, and then we're going to wood chip this area down here, guys, in front of the to-be greenhouse. And I'll just try and keep the sun off here for the time being while I show you this from a different angle, so we haven't got the sun glaring through the window. And as you can see again, what we've done is we've put this plastic straight back to work, right up along these edges, all the way down. And in fact, we've covered this entire area with the plastic. Nothing to give you from this angle, guys, or the sun will blind you. So you can see we've covered quite an area with these plastics that was on the beds. And the reason for that is the growing season is well starting now, guys. Things are starting to bud up, leaf up, etc, etc, etc. And I'm not going to have time to finish this year. Well, I don't think I will anyways. So what we've done is we've kept ourselves a small area there we can work on. Once the polytunnel or stroke greenhouse is finished, then I can start putting some little beds down here, down the sides here, or putting some raised beds in the centre with the paths down the side, whichever way. But I'm certainly not going to get it all done. As you know, I can only do little bits at a time now, so we can only do what we can do. So in the meantime, I thought this is going to turn into a wilderness, so we're just trying to keep it at bay with the polythene, guys. Now, a lot of people don't like using plastic, but believe me, it has its uses, and this is one good use of plastic. This plastic is over 5 or 6 years old now, and it's being utilised and used many times, and it's now down for another job. And then at the back end, if we've got time, we can just start on this, pick this plastic up and put it back on the beds again, ready for winter. Right guys, I've had enough. I'll give you a quick round up in the shed. It's 3:30 now and I'm going home. Right guys, I'm just over in the shed and having a cup of coffee before we go home. Right, so it's 4:10 in the evening now. By the time I put all the tools away, tidied some of the wood up, locked the garages up, locked all the pigeon lofts up, etc. It's now 4:10. made the cup of coffee. Right, so I just wanted to clear something up about the peaches and nectarines, and saying the reason why I can't put them outside, because I can't always be here. Peaches and nectarines are susceptible to a disease called leaf curl, if you don't already know. And that means if the foliage gets wet, whilst they're in blossom like they are now, and whilst they're budding up, then basically they get a disease called peach leaf curl. And it's very unsightly, but more importantly, it can kill the trees. So that's why they're still under cover and still in the little greenhouse, and hence the reason why I'm building the big 12-foot by 8-foot, well, let's call it a tree house, because that's what it's going to be. Those trees are going to live in there permanently. But we need to make sure that it's good and watertight, and that no water can get in there, guys. A bit of moisture and condensation won't do them any harm if we do get any of that, but we'll have to have ventilation in there as well. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, when the weather picks up and once they've budded and they're all in full foliage, they could go outside and a shower wouldn't harm them. It's only at certain times of the year, if the foliage and blossom gets wet, I believe, that it causes the leaf peach curl, and it can kill the tree. Hence the reason why we're building the 12-foot polytunnel. It will have other uses, of course, as well. It won't only be a tree house, but that's where the trees will eventually be planted and live for the rest of their life, and mine, I suppose. Right, so yeah, I really did toy with just going back home again today, but I'm pleased I did stay up here. And although it doesn't look like I've got a lot done, it's some more jobs that needed doing that have been done now. The strawberries always needed potted on. They've been in those pots for over a year now. And incidentally, we've got a really good crop off those. They're an F1, they've got Roman and Frisian. And we got a really, really good harvest out of those little strawberry plants just in the pots last year. But I've been banging on about building a strawberry bed for them for long enough, and I finally got it built. All right, it isn't finished, and I haven't got it faced off, but I thought it's usable. Let's get them in now while the sun's shining. So that's what we've done. We got the strawberries in, we got the beds uncovered like I said I was going to, and then whilst I was doing that, I thought, right, let's make use of this plastic, because I'm not going to get all that new space that I've taken out of the chicken pen this year, I don't think, because I can only do little bits at a time. So I said, right, okay, what we'll do is we'll cover that entire top half with plastic, and we'll just do it in little snippets and little bits at a time, so that I can actually do this. But it's just another job. The foliage on those peaches and nectarines are absolutely beautiful. The blossom on them, a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Really, really nice. Pretty much that's it, guys, for today. Sorry if it's been a bit boring and laborious and I haven't sounded like I've had any energy. That's because I haven't. But hopefully you've enjoyed the footage I've managed to give you. I'm going to have this cup of coffee and then I'm going home, guys, and I'm going to have an early night. Wherever you are in the world, guys, please stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.